I'm Marthel Neville, and you're in the strategy room. The White House is facing an uphill battle as it tries to convince a federal appeals court to allow President Obama's executive actions on immigration to take effect. The president has so far faced several legal setbacks as critics blast his administration for abuse of executive power. Here with the reaction are Professor Jeanne Zaino from Iona College and T.J. McCormack, former media specialist for Astorino for governor. Welcome to you both.
Hi.
And T.J., I'm going to start with you on this. So I just go right to the question. Do you think the president's executive actions on immigration will survive?
I think these are the same executive actions that he said a couple of years ago that he couldn't actually undertake. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Professor. But okay, yeah, you know, so judging by his own scholarly knowledge of what the presidential powers are, well, he couldn't have done it in the first place. I know that there are street-level Republicans walking around going, can we win one? Can we get one decision against this guy in this administration? Look, it seemed like an overreach at the time, and with different things in the news now, with a lot of facts about sanctuary cities and some of the ramifications that lie therein, you know, the timing is now for some sort of rational move here. You can't just by writ, you know, change immigration policy. There's a lot of people who've gone through a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort to do it the right way by waiting in line. And I know that's a cliche, but you know, I don't think, and it seems like the conservative justices who already knocked this down the first time, they're the ones hearing it this time around. So that's one thing that's not in his column. And the other thing is, I think public sentiment. I don't think the public's on the side of this.
And Jeanne, as TJ just touched on, you know, critics have long accused President Obama of, for abusing executive power. So how do you see this?
Well, I do think he's going to have a tough time at this court because, as TJ mentioned, there are two justices who denied this already here, rehearing the case. So I think it's going to be an uphill battle from that perspective. That said, it's a really interesting question about executive overreach, as you mentioned, because in this case, what the states are claiming, led by Texas, is that the president is not doing his duty of enforcing the immigration laws. And what the White House is saying is we have prosecutorial discretion. We can choose or not choose. We can prioritize. And there's a really interesting question there because all prosecutors prioritize in terms of what cases they're going to prosecute and what cases they're not. And so can you force the president to prosecute all 5 million of these people? Probably not. So it's a big question. And so I think it's a little bit more intricate than some of what we hear out there. And it raises a huge constitutional question about separation of powers, for instance. If Congress passes law, which they did, does he have to prosecute everyone under that, or does he use that discretion to say no? And then the state's other argument is that it's increasing their costs in terms of driver's licenses, in terms of border control, in terms of police. If 5 million plus people are kept here and then they're opening the doors to more people is the claim. But they're missing the other side of that, which is that these people documented will also bring in tax money. And so there's two sides to this that I think in this case, I agree. I think it's going to probably not survive here, but I think it will be appealed and may eventually end up in the Supreme Court.
Well, TJ, I mean, there has been calls for, in Congress to bring about immigration reform. I mean, is that ever going to happen?
Well, I mean, at this pace, it doesn't seem so. And again, you make a great point there. This is something that the president, this was supposed to be a legacy issue for this president on the way out. He made a big promise going into the last election and over the last couple of years. And so far, he has not delivered. He has not delivered anything for that voting bloc that came out for him. He has delivered, or he hasn't come through the way he said he would.
Well,
you're about to correct me.
Well, no, I'm just going to say that, he can't do it alone because then you would accuse him of overstepping his boundaries, right? So he waited for Congress to fulfill this promise. They didn't do it, and he issued the executive order.
They didn't make the promise, though. He made the promise, and he's the one who said, I'm going to do it. Again, after spending a couple of years saying, well, look, I can't do it on my own.
Well, it's an issue that has to be resolved. I mean, simply, you cannot turn out 11 million, 15 million, whatever the number is, people that are in this country. It's simply not going to happen. So it would be in everybody's best interest, as Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, and others have said, to resolve this issue, and Congress should be the place to do it. Unfortunately, in the do-nothing Congress, that hasn't happened.
And let's not forget, too, this is a boon for those who bolsters the argument of those people who are saying, hey, can we actually chicken or the egg? Can we actually enforce our immigration laws to begin with? Can we actually strengthen our borders and at least slow down the flow here so we can catch up?
There is a way to do both.
Okay, well, we're going to leave it there. We'll continue this discussion, I'm sure, as the issue continues to be on the table. Jeanne Zaino and T.J. McCormack, thanks so much to both of you, and thanks to you as well. Check out foxnews.com for more over the debate over immigration. I'm Arthel Neville. Thanks for watching.